is everybody doing today? What an amazing day it is in hot Atlanta. I could be
Yeah,
out.
that's right.
I
That's
could be
right.
outside for a little while, not
Okay.
too long, because it's finna be. It's fixing to. It's fitting to be
Fitna.
really hot. But I'm not complaining at all. This is a good thing for me. I don't have a complaint
Join the meeting.
in the world about the heat. I'm good with it, great with it. So I don't have no complaints about any of it. I'm so excited to be able to share with everyone, all of the great things that's happening. There's so many great things happening in my world right now. The Healing House of Roses is coming along very beautifully. My PR people was here yesterday to take pictures and start the content creation and the new page just for the Healing House and all of the things that we're going to offer in here. And today, June 9th, June 9th, 2021, is the 100th episode of Planting Seeds with Darlaina Rose. 100 women, 100 days, 100 interviews. Today is day 100. We've been at it 100 days today. Today. So I am so excited for this. So I'll probably have them come over there like, oh, we coming to pop them bottles because 100 days, I don't think anyone has done 100 days straight. Good morning, good morning. Yes, it's like nobody has done it. People have talked about it, but no one has done it. Not live 100 days. So we've been live 100 days. So I'm very excited about that. But we will go past the 100 days because I have 6 bonus babes. And then on June 20th, we start the 100 men. So y'all LCA men, get ready to line up because we're going to line all of the men up because just as many women that are doing great things, there are men out here doing great things too. And I would be remiss if I didn't like them as well. So yeah, that's what's up. So on to this Well-Being Wednesday. I'm always excited to bring information, some new, some old, some, that people have been talking about, but somebody needs somebody to reiterate it so it comes back up to be discussed again. And so, today I just want to talk about chronic inflammation and the root causes of it, how to prevent it, how chronic inflammation is the root of many diseases, most diseases. And doctors have known that, they've known it for a long time, but they started really talking about it in 2009. But there's still a lot of doctors that do not look for the cause of the inflammation. Instead, they give you symptom suppressing medications to kind of take care of it. So, inflammation can be linked to just about every health condition that's out there. Chronic inflammation plays a central role in rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, asthma, and even Alzheimer's. And they started talking about how it's an emerging field, and they said inflammation research was an emerging field in 2009. And in 2009, they said it was a new concept for medicine. And now over the past 10 years, of course, more people are talking about inflammation, what causes it, and really, what we can do about it. Medicine really is focused on treating the symptoms and not the root causes of the inflammation. According to this scientific article that was published in 2012, there's an increasing body of evidence stating that there are more chronic inflammation causes among a lot of common diseases. Arthritis is inflammation of the joint, heart disease is inflammation of the arteries, and the list goes on and on. And so instead of taking medication to reduce the inflamed area of the body, we'd be better served to find out the root cause of the inflammation, and first by reducing the inflammation. The good news is there's a lot of ways to avoid and reduce chronic disease causing inflammation, including things like an anti-inflammatory diet, plus other scientifically proven inflammation reducing tactics that you can start doing today. And you know I'm going to tell you what they are so you can do them today. So what is inflammation exactly? So inflammation is a part of the body's inherent immune response. It isn't always bad. And so when it's acute, it's not when it's acute and not dangerous, it's the body's natural defense against damaged cells like viruses, bacteria, etc. The goal for the inflammation is to remove those harmful or foreign invaders and heal itself. Without inflammation, wounds wouldn't heal. They would just fester and become infectious, which could be deadly for a lot of people. So a standard inflammation definition is a local response to cellular injury that is marked by capillary dilation, leukocytic infiltration, redness, heat, and pain, and that serves as a mechanism initiating the elimination of these agents of the damaged tissues. So what that means is, like, if you fall and you hurt your knee or you cut yourself, then all this is Marcus is retarded. He said too many big words. That's the official. I got to give you the official. And so it just means that if you hurt yourself, you bang your thumb with a hammer, or you trip up the steps and hit your knee, or you burn yourself cooking, those things are what happens those things is you get this inflammatory response. You get heat with the burn, you feel the pain from that, and then you kind of put some cooling agent on it, and it starts to feel better. Same thing, if you trip and fall, you might get a black and blue mark, and then after a few days it goes down. You put some ice on it, you bang your hand, you put some ice on it, you do the things that will help it to feel better. So those types of inflammation are good. So that it's healing, and it only lasts for a few days, for as long as the tissue is there. So this inflammation process, what happens is, first, chemicals from the white blood cells are released into the bloodstream or the affected tissue to guard your body from foreign substances. So this release of chemical increases blood flow to the area of injury or infection, and the heightened blood also causes redness and a feeling of warmth in that infected area. Sometimes when you get an infection or something, it feels warm, it feels hot, right? It's all this chemical release that's happening to help the body to heal itself. So sometimes this chemical release can also trigger this leakage of fluid into the body tissue, which what the swelling is, because you hurt yourself. Nerves are also stimulated during this protective process and can lead to temporary pain. And so the inflammation is really, hold on, it's a bug. I can't, wait a minute. Hold on, get off me, bug. All right. Sitting outside, got the bugs out here too. And so sometimes inflammation can be, hold on, he ain't off me. Okay, there we go, he gone. Sometimes the inflammation can be mistaken for an infection, but the two are not the same. Infection can, however, cause inflammation because the infection is caused by harmful substances like bacteria and fungus. But inflammation is absolutely the body's response to infection as well. So in this way, the inflammation is good, but not always. So there's a difference between acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. And so while acute inflammation starts quickly and generally disappears in a couple of days, chronic inflammation can last for months or years as a result of failure to eliminate what is causing it. So it is beneficial when, again, you hit your knee and the tissues need care and all that, and so what that is. But sometimes inflammation can persist longer than necessary, causing more harm than benefit. So you just need to know, like, what is causing it. So what's the root cause? Symptoms of inflammation can be different depending on whether the inflammatory reaction is acute or chronic. Acute inflammation often causes because of injury to the body or to the skin. And symptoms of acute inflammation are redness, warmth, pain, swelling, immobility, and that heat that comes from it. If acute inflammation is occurring deep inside the body, such as an internal organ, um, only some of these signs may be noticeable. Like, for example, internal organs, lungs, don't have nerve sensories in them, and so not be any pain, even though the lung may have some inflammation there. And that's usually what the doctors find. Some other symptoms and signs of inflammation could be when it's a chronic inflammation is fatigue or mouth sores or chest pains or abdominal fever, rash, joint pain. Chronic inflammation can also affect organs. Examples of organs that can be inflamed is swelling and loss of function of blood vessels, something called vasculitis, enlargement and loss of function in the kidneys. That can happen from systemic lupus, loss of function in muscles, the dermatomyositis. These words are long. And what can be the main cause? And there are actually many, several possible causes of inflammation. A poor diet, stress, minor food allergies, sedimentary lifestyle, just sitting around, or all of them and more can contribute to chronic inflammation. Your individual inflammatory response comes up if your body doesn't handle it well with normal, acute, or temporary inflammation response. Then you can end up with some out of control chronic inflammation. And so you could have a malfunctioning protein that causes inflammation. You excess weight or obesity, extra fatty tissue produces inflammatory responses in the body. Your mood, chronically being stressed, can cause inflammation in your body. It causes a lot of activity in your immune system that causes this inflammatory response. Personality traits. Research has shown that people who are less conscientious about their unhealthy habits tend to encourage inflammation, like smoking, eating unhealthy food, exercising less. Also, your gut health, gut bacteria, can be a cause of inflammation, like irritable bowel syndrome. All these conditions around your digestive system. When the microbiome is not level or a good pH, it can cause that. Inflammatory conditions such as arthritis and depression and other neurological diseases can cause chronic inflammation. Exposure to pollution. There are studies that show a really good link between exposure to air pollution and higher levels of inflammation related to substances in the body, including this CRP uh, a protein that builds up because of the stress. And we know people that live in certain areas around electrical plants, people who live around chemical plants that are exposed to more pollution. They have more stress responses, and those stress responses absolutely will run into and turn into some sort of chronic illness. Also, there's inflammatory diseases and conditions that can result in acute inflammation. Sore throat due to a cold or flu, skin wounds such as a cut, infected ingrown toenails, some type of trauma to the body, acute bronchitis, and dermatitis. Um, if you already, some sort of chronic inflammatory disease, there's a health conditions that fall into the category of inflammatory diseases like asthma, uh, heart disease, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, ulcers, lupus, periodontitis. That's with your teeth, and so you want to be, mindful of some of these things. We think that these are just diseases that we get. Also on that list is ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and hepatitis. And so these are all inflammatory response diseases. So if you can determine where the inflammation is coming from, then you can relieve the disease because they are inflammatory responses. There's also foods that cause inflammation. You could be eating what they call a pro-inflammation diet. Sugar is part of that. When reading the ingredient labels, sugar can destroy your body. It goes by many names, including sucrose and fructose and dextrose, all of that. Bad saturated fats like trans fats found in fast foods and other fried products, processed snacks, frozen breakfast products, cookies, donuts, crackers, and most stick margins. So you want to stay away from foods that can contain partially hydrogenated oil that cause inflammation response in the body. High omega-6 oils and products are, but in moderation. Consumption of omega-6 can trigger the body to produce pro-inflammatory chemicals, and this is found in oils like corn oil, sunflower oil, soy oil, peanut oil, and vegetable oil, and can also be found in mayonnaise and salad dressing. So you want to be mindful of that. Refined carbohydrates, white flour products, common food items that cause this inflammation is bread, rolls, crackers, and cereals often contain refined carbohydrates that are severely lacking nutrients and are high in sugar content. These high glycemic index foods fuel the creation of this protein that can trigger this inflammation in the body. So you could be very well causing the inflammation that's causing your illness. MSG, we've been talking about that for years. It's a lot of times found in Asian foods, fast food, soy sauce, prepared soups and salad dressings, deli meats. MSG can trigger pathways to inflammation and negatively impact your liver. So you want to be mindful of those products. Gluten. People with certain diseases have to avoid gluten, like celiac disease. With gluten intolerance, will find autoimmune reactions and increased inflammation levels when they consume foods that have gluten. Casein. Some people with inflammatory issues such as arthritis find improved symptoms when they avoid casein, which is found in dairy products. Aspartame is a sugar artificial sweetener. This can also produce inflammation in the body. Your body, when you eat anything with aspartame or drink anything with aspartame, it's sweet and low. Sweet and low. When you do that, the body reacts to it like a foreign substance, so it attacks that chemical and causes an inflammatory response. And then alcohol. Alcohol is a burden to the liver. Now, excessive intake of alcohol is terrible for the liver, and we know that. Stop. I knew either you was going to say something, or I know somebody's going to say something. Listen, alcohol is certain alcohol is fine, in moderation. We're talking about really hard liquor. No,
No, I'm not talking about that part.
Oh, what part?
The reason why I had to stop you, and I know somebody else wanted to stop you. I know they were telling her, stop her right now. Okay, we got to stop you.
Okay.
Because y'all know every Wednesday we always talk about what she tells us not to eat and what she's telling us to.
Yes.
But can I ask you a question? Because you just mentioned something, and you mentioned something about things that it promotes arthritis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when a doctor or something says, yep, it's really right now, and I got arthritis all up in my legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept asking the doctors, what the hell is arthritis? Mm-hmm. Listen, and I'm telling you, they say, yeah. And then somebody said, we all have it. Mm-hmm. In that way, right?
Yes.
So when his mom said we all have it, the thing was, how is it something born with, or is it, well, and if it is, how do we all have it? But based on what you're saying right now, would you agree with that part? Or
I don't agree that I don't agree that we all have it. I believe that arthritis is a degenerative disease. So it's something that happens for a lot of reasons. Inflammatory foods, not having the appropriate nutrition, because arthritis is a degeneration of the I forget what it's called. I think it's called the bursa. That's between the joints from bone to bone. Because what happens is that bursa starts to wear away, and then you start getting that bone to bone, and that's what causes the pain. And so it's a constant degeneration of the joints in different areas of the body. There's things that you can do. First and foremost is an anti-inflammatory diet, and then taking out these things that cause this inflammation. Trust and believe me, when your body starts to go in a direction, it takes a lot of discipline to not eat the wrong things, especially when people around you are eating the wrong things. When people, and not to say that you can't have some fried chicken here and there, but you can't have fried chicken every day. You can't have fried fish every day. You can't have hard liquor every day. All these things that we're talking about, dairy products are huge. You already know. You stopped drinking milk. Probably started when you was drinking a gallon of milk.
I think, when you said that, I'm like, I heard her say dairy again. So is that what it was that contributed?
Possibly.
Because I'm literally, this is what contributed to that. But like, if I can, and it's not like saying, and I believe it, I don't think, like you mentioned crackers. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think that we cannot eat crackers. You're saying excessively. Mm-hmm. I can't be eating a cracker every freaking bread,
all of that stuff is all it's all processed. You just have to swap it out for something more healthy. Instead of crackers, maybe find a healthy I like these I can't think of the name of it. It's called sweet and salty, but it's like nuts and raisins and all of that, and it's all in a bar. And so when you want a nice, good, crunchy snack, you just reach for some nuts or some raisins or some grapes or some kind of whole food plant-based thing. And like trail mix. There you go. You got it, Marcus. Something like that, and that keeps you from eating it. Listen, I am a snacker. Some cheese curls, but not to buy them, because if I do, I'm going to eat the whole bag. I love me some Hers kettle cooked jalapeno chips. I know not to buy them, because if I do, I'm going to eat the whole bag. So my compromise is I buy pistachios, big old bags of pistachios, and whenever I want cheese curls, I eat pistachios. So you just have to find, and now that I'm in a whole new space, I'm not bringing nothing bad in here, because the minute it's in here, it's on and popping. So that's, you just have to compromise a little bit differently when it comes to knowing that you have a chronic inflammatory thing happening. That means you have to be mindful of everything you're eating and your stress levels and all of that, because all of those things contribute to chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is what's causing arthritis and then asthma and allergies and all these other diseases that people are having, that they're taking medicine for, that all they need to do is find the base cause of the inflammation. So absolutely, yes, Bridget, absolutely a total lifestyle change, and you have to do it. Listen, you're going to be sorry if next year this time you still eating the same way, you still feel the same way, because you didn't start today. And you guys are already doing it. You're doing your steps, every day. You're making sure that you're eating better. All of you had this good camaraderie together, doing it all together. I think that is so great, doing the 10,000 steps a day. All of that is so important, because the exercise of it all is what's helping to relieve some of this chronic inflammation. And what they say, inch by inch is a cinch. So we ain't saying go run a mile, just do your steps. If you can't do all of them today, do some of them today. Every time you take one step, you eventually get used to it. It becomes a habit. Listen, I've been online for 100 days live. Guess what? That's a habit. Every day at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna stop. Whatever it is I'm doing, even if I'm on, I'm going to stop, because now it's a habit. It's a habit wherever I am. It's a habit. And so once you do anything for 21 days straight, it becomes a habit. So you want to create good anti-inflammatory habits. And that walking is it, exercising is it, drinking your 8 glasses of water is it, taking your multivitamin, multi-mineral is it, all of those things. And sometimes we fall off the wagon, but you just get back on. You can't say, oh, man, I ain't walk all week, I ain't going to walk today either. No, the day is a great day to start over.
That's true.
And it's not a begin again thing. It's not a start over really from the beginning. It's just a begin again from where you left off. So don't look at it as you start. It's beginning again from where you left off. So yeah. When it comes to alcohol, you want to be mindful of the alcohol, but there's certain alcohols that is good for you, like red wine. And so you just want to look at what it is that you're having. Even certain chocolates is good for you, especially for your heart. Dark chocolate, and the higher the concentration, the better. But the more concentration, the bitterer it gets bitter. So I kind of stick around the 70% dark chocolate. When you start going up a little higher, it kind of defeats the purpose of eating the chocolate, because it don't taste good. So yeah. So normally, when it comes to inflammation, there's diagnosis and conventional treatment that doctors do. They look at your history and your current symptoms, and they do a physical exam. They do X-rays and blood tests, and measure the C-reactive protein, which is a marker for inflammation in the body. And once they do that, they'll tell you what is normal. So a normal reading is less than 10 milligrams per liter. A test result that shows greater than 10 milligrams means that you have some kind of serious infection, trauma, or chronic disease, which will require more testing to determine what is coming from. And so the conventional treatment is medication, rest, exercise, surgery when other options don't work. Most over-the-counter medications recommended for short-term acute inflammation are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They call them NSAIDs. They're like aspirin, naproxen, which is Aleve, and ibuprofen, Advil, or Motrin. Acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, which is another common pain reliever that may be recommended or taken for inflammation. I don't recommend any of them. None of them, especially not for chronic inflammation. Aleve, never, 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 never. Aspirin, a little less invasive. Yeah. Um, Ibuprofen, definitely not anything long term, here and there. Tylenol, a little less invasive. I don't recommend any of them. They destroy the liver. They do so many bad things to the body. So no. But also they do cortisone and prednisone for chronic inflammation for conditions like arthritis and asthma. There's so many side effects to these oral steroids. Um, Including fluid retention, increased appetite, weight gain, insomnia, and mood changes. Um, they can cause osteoporosis, high blood pressure, diabetes, weight gain, increased vulnerability to infection, cataracts, glaucoma, muscle weakness, thinning of the skin, bruising easily. All these are caused by uh, prednisone and different types of steroids like that, prednisone and cortisone. And so I don't like any of those things. On a short term basis, I know after asthma, they usually will recommend a short, maybe a week or so of prednisone. So for that reason, maybe, but nothing too long term. It's just not good for your body. So there are natural remedies for inflammation. That those include things like anti-inflammatory foods as a part of an anti-inflammatory diet. Um, and these foods are high in antioxidants and they help to reduce the inflammation in the body. Um, there's the Mediterranean diet, which is a great example of an eating plan that will help you to reduce these inflammatory things. There's a healing food diet, which is also anti-inflammatory by nature. That includes vegetables, having 4 to 5 servings of beets, carrots, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and kale, dark leafy greens like collard greens, kale, spinach, onions, peas, salad greens, sea vegetables, and squashes. All of those are anti-inflammatory vegetables. Fruits, 3 to 4 servings per day of healthy fruits like apples, blackberries, blueberries, cherries, nectarines, orange, pears, grapefruit, pineapple, plums, pomegranates, or strawberries. I know, Laverne, you allergic to all of them. Laverne allergic to everything. Not really, not really. But all of those things are good. Making sure that you drink enough water, good high quality water for your body. Um, Sparkling mineral water or unsweetened herbal tea are also other hydrating options. Beans and legumes, 1 to 2 servings of soaked and sprouted ansazi beans or adzuki beans, black beans, black eyed peas, chickpeas, or lentils. All of them are good. They are anti-inflammatory as well. Healthy fats, 5 to 7 servings of healthy fats per day, like avocados, extra virgin olive oil, flax seeds, and hemp seeds. Herbs and spices, unlimited amounts of antioxidant rich herbs and spices like basil, chili peppers, cinnamon, curry powder, garlic, ginger, rosemary, turmeric, and thyme. All of them are good. You have as much of that as you like. Proteins, you want to think organic if you can, like organic eggs, grass-fed meats, healthy cheeses, organic poultry, and cultured raw dairy. You want to look at those types of things if you're going to have them, but you want to have them on a very small amounts. Tea is an excellent natural anti-inflammatory beverage, having 2 to 4 cups of green tea, oolong, or white tea per day. fresh veggie and fruit juices in your own juicer. Try making some fresh juice that discourages inflammation, like celery, cucumber, ginger, pineapple, spinach, and lemon. All of those are anti-inflammatory. Having red wine or I can never say this word, quercetin rich foods. For some people, the complete elimination of alcohol is a smart choice, but for some people, it's like no. But if you're going to drink alcohol, opt for organic red wine. Research study shows that this quercetin that's in the wine is one of the most important flavonoids present in red wine, and has a potent anti-inflammatory ability along with carcinogenic and antiviral activities as well. Ooh, let me go get me some red wine right now. Quercetin is actually able to modulate inflammation and inhibit inflammatory enzymes. Red wine also contains another highly anti-inflammatory component known as resveratrol. There's a lot of research that says that it may control a lot of the problems with Alzheimer, and it will slow dementia progression. And this is because the resveratrol has an ability to reduce this inflammation and oxidative stress that's also acting as a neuroprotectant. So it's really, really good. Anti-inflammatory supplements like omega-3 fatty acids is good for rheumatoid arthritis. It's also been shown in studies to decrease inflammation system wide, making it a helpful way to reduce inflammation at the root. Also, turmeric. Turmeric is a spice, also available in supplement form, contains a powerful component called curcumin, which is known for its ability to inhibit inflammation. And then white willow bark, that's a herb that comes from the willow tree, traditionally used for pain. That is one of the things that is made to make aspirin. So it's a better choice. It is used for pain, low back pain, osteoarthritis, bursitis, and rheumatoid arthritis. And then bromelain, naturally found in pineapples. It's an enzyme with ability to reduce swelling. And so you can do anti-inflammatory practices like exercising. That is very important. 20 minutes of moderate exercise a day can decrease inflammation in the body and protect against chronic conditions with low-grade inflammation. Prayer and meditation. Daily practices like prayer and meditation can also reduce inflammation. There's a bunch of research and studies around that that points to mind-body practices like meditation and Tai Chi are ways to dampen the activity of the genes associated with inflammation. I love it. Somebody said, "Is there such thing as a healing prayer?" Not only are spiritual practices like prayer linked with less illness and longer life, research has shown that long-term daily spiritual practices help to deactivate the genes that trigger inflammation. So, what does this all mean? Inflammation is a key aspect of the immune system's response to injury and infection. Acute inflammation helps to heal damaged tissue and defend itself against viruses and bacteria. Problems arise when the inflammatory process goes on for too long and becomes chronic. Chronic inflammation is at the root of most diseases. Inflammation causes include poor diet, stress, being overweight. You can begin incorporating new anti-inflammatory food into your diet. Don't be afraid to try new things, y'all, because the new stuff is good for you. You can reduce inflammation in the body by consuming foods that reduce inflammation daily. Eliminate all sources of inflammation in your diet. That includes unhealthy saturated fats like those that contains trans fats, sugars, conventional meats, and conventional dairy products. Consider incorporating these anti-inflammatory supplements into your diet, like omega-3 fatty acids, turmeric, willow bark, bromelain, exercise, pray, mind body practices like meditation have scientifically shown to reduce inflammation. And so that's what you can do. And guess what? You can do these things today. Today. Nobody calling me spam risk. So that is how inflammation is caused, and that is how we can reduce it or absolutely knock it out the box. Back to you, Mr. Satchel. Ooh, ooh. Uh, uh. Is he asleep? What happened? You went to sleep? Oh, I'm muted. Oh. There we go. I don't know what happened. There we go. Hold on. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. So, that is how inflammation is caused in the body. That is also how we can reduce or eliminate inflammation in the body by adding these anti-inflammatory things, exercising, praying. All of those things are ways to help us to do better, be better, and feel better. Back to you, Mr. Satchel. Oh my goodness. What had happened was, I don't know where he went. What happened to his camera? What happened to him? Marcus, is you mad at me? I'm looking at your face.
Of course I am. Of course I am.
But it's Wednesday and you here.
Class makes me depressed.
Why? Depression is no, it's good. It's good.
Because you point out to me how jacked up I really am. Get on my nerves, but I love you anyway.
You love me anyway? Oh, thank you for loving me anyway. You know, I don't
have a question though.
Yes, what's your question?
I have a legitimate question.
Okay.
When it comes to inflammation,
yes,
I was always having the understanding that inflammation was swelling. Are they connected, or are they two totally different things?
Two totally different things. So there's a difference between acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. Acute inflammation will cause swelling if you hurt yourself. Chronic inflammation may cause swelling from something like maybe periodontitis in your mouth, and you may have swelling there. Sometimes you may get an abscess. So the swelling is part of the process, but it shouldn't be something that is ongoing forever.
Okay, I got it. I got it. So if you have an injury or something, and they may say, "Oh, that muscle is inflamed," or something like that. That's just the result.
Yes.
Or side effect, maybe.
Yes.
Of what's going on.
What happened? Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah. So you can have swelling with inflammation, but you could have inflammation without swelling as well. You could have that. If it's not an injury, you could have inflammation that causes asthma and all of that, but there's no swelling in relation to it. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Now somebody put in the chat, since Mr. Satchel is away for the moment, he normally reads the questions in the chat.
Yes.
Somebody put in the chat, do you recommend topical products to relieve pain, such as heat and cold patches?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because that is non-invasive. It is not anything that is going to cause a side effect as some of the cortisone and these all this other stuff that they got on the market. Some of the stuff is so scary. All of the leaves and the thises and the that's. Those things cause such bad liver damage, especially a leaf. They really need to take that stuff off the market for the damage that causes. So For real, yeah. So I definitely recommend heat and cold packs.
And when you were talking about the medicines, their leaves and the Tylenol, all that, someone put in asked the question about magnesium.
So magnesium is a natural occurring mineral. So magnesium is good for you.
Magnesium is good. Okay.
If you take a multivitamin and multi-mineral, magnesium will be in it. So yeah, so magnesium is very good for you. Magnesium, a lot of times when people have a magnesium deficiency, those are your ice chewers. Those are the people who, they always chewing ice. Like, why is this child always chewing ice? That's a magnesium deficiency. And the minute that deficiency is taken care of, that person will no longer, they will no longer chew ice. Usually people who have low blood, anemic, they all are ice chewers. So I recommend them to take a multi-mineral and to add blackstrap molasses, and then they stop. They stop eating, they stop doing all that. So somebody said that's me. So absolutely take a multivitamin, multi-mineral. I like the people at TLC. They have a vitamin called a liquid vitamin called NutriBurst. It doesn't taste bad. It has everything that you need in it. I like it because it assimilates into the body faster. No, I do not sell TLC. Somebody does. So everybody does. So just reach out to whoever does and get that from them. They should probably pay me for saying that, but they don't. But I absolutely like that because it has that. And then the combination of the TLC with the blackstrap molasses should cure your ice chewing and your anemia and low blood issue. For sure.
Avocado oil good?
Yeah, avocado is one of the good oils for sure. Yep. You got
I got some comments about this drinking, but I'm gonna say that for after the class.
Drinking in my drinking.
Apple a day keeps the doctor away, so I figure some Apple Crown Royal, I get the best of both worlds.
Oh Lord, yes. Well, listen, in moderation, sir. And if you're not having any chronic inflammation, I don't have a problem with that from time to time. I'm absolutely about to roll out and get me some red wine because I got the wrong color right now.